Hello, and welcome to the loser's point of view. Oh, I inted so hard, man. If you didn't watch, I was playing in the Epic 7 World Cup, right? And I just drafted like trash. If you want my copium, I hadn't eaten in 12 hours and was very lightheaded, unable to think straight, and not drafting like myself. Like, I hadn't picked Laya, Seniat, Carmen. I had never picked those three units together before that day. I just wasn't thinking straight. Too nervous, too malnourished. Very salty though. It's not the reason why it took so long for this account review to come up though. Don't get me wrong, there's some unrelated circumstances that I kind of had to deal with, but we're here now, and if you're interested in... Okay, look, I didn't round on Exa at least. Like, that's not too bad, right? I definitely didn't lose to rank 16 seed with first pick twice. Yeah, that would never happen. Oh man. But anyways, let's just go through my units. It's worth mentioning at the start here that my speed spread might be a little bit different, but otherwise all the builds should be the same here. Nothing's like too terribly different, I'm pretty sure, because like it's been like a few days now since the tournament happened, so here it's probably been moved around for like Guild War, but I think everything's okay. So I always sort by grade, and I don't favorite any heroes. I'm kind of a sociopath like that, I think. I should probably favorite things, honestly, but I don't like change. So we're just gonna leave it as is. And we're just gonna scroll through the list, and if there's something like I actually use quite a bit, I'll probably talk about it, but otherwise I'll just hover on the build for a moment, go on to the next thing. So Abigail, I rarely pick her, but I think she's pretty strong when she's good. Like, I picked her like 10 times this season and she has like an 80% win rate or something. She's good into certain aggro comps where you can like, that want to kill one specific unit, right? But the thing is, like, even if she saves that unit, the rest of your team has to win from there, because they'll get 1 health, and that really doesn't do you much good, does it? But since most people run anchors like Senya and Bloodmoon Haste now, she's not really as valuable, but Injury Abigail's actually quite good into those in theory, but I don't think I've ever actually put that into practice. It's more of like, this is just a bulky set on her. But yeah, not really used. Benimaru ungeared. Wait, I should probably do this. Wait, you can't do hide fully equipped. Wait, no, unequipped hero? Oh, I guess that's not really a thing. Ed. Okay, this injury Ed's better right now, but this Ed's really tanky for anti-cleave because people would just all-in Ed. But if you all-in this Ed, you probably don't kill it. Probably, sometimes, for some plays, I don't know. Hwayoung, I probably would have gotten to pick her if I were drafting correctly, but I was drafting like a beta male. Unlucky. But yeah, she's really good with Conk on 3, because attack buff, vigor buff, and I run Warhorn on my Conk. It's gonna kill anything, even through like Carmen Mitt. Like, I deal 20k through Carmen Mitt essentially on this build. Pretty good. Torrent is very necessary on her. I'll click through the pieces just so you can see it's actually pretty relatable. Like 80 equip score boots. The flat attack ring is pretty good. The flat attack neck is pretty good. But we're not like giga high attack or anything. Like 35, that's like achievable. 35, and then just some random 16 speeder. Jacko, I don't think I would have picked Jacko ever. Like, I don't think I'm on a Jacko cleave in World Cup. I would have rather just died to other stuff. But what can you do? Okay, the Ravi that lost me a game. I think if I picked Dark Corvus instead of Ravi there, I would have won that match, to be really honest with you. But yeah, Ravi is not doing any damage into Albedo Mitt. That was just... I was stun locked and not thinking. Unlucky, but you know. Ravi's really good when you do have the tempo on your side, but if you don't have the tempo on your side, Ravi's pretty awful, essentially. Shaltir, she's unmulled, so I probably would have refrained from picking her, honestly, but high attack's good on her. If you run into like ER Galas, you need to be higher attack than her, otherwise your S3 won't strip. Like I see some people that are like 3k 300 and like faster than this, but that doesn't strip Gala, does it? If she's like mine at the very least. But yeah, it's good into Spez. Like Jaltir is one of the units that you can pick into Spez. Spez is very hard to deal with, in my opinion. Pretty strong unit. Jaltir, also pretty strong unit, but my Jaltir probably doesn't kill because I'm missing 20% damage. Okay. Alright, maybe I don't know. Do I click through pieces on stuff? Wait, I'll click through pieces on Ravi because she's notable. Like I think my Ravi's pretty okay. Jaltir, maybe not. This next kind of insane. I wish you're higher health, but what can you do? Fire Lilius, maybe pickable into Lua. I don't think I would ever pick her right now though, because Green Celine exists. Like you pick Lilius, they pick Green Celine. Oh, gee. She's gonna be proccing her passive every time your passive procs essentially. That doesn't sound very good. Genoa? Okay, my Genoa, maybe not best in world, but okay, my Genoa's really good though. But because Politis was pre-banned, like I probably wasn't gonna get an opportunity to play him well. It's very hard to early pick. It's not hard to early pick Genoa, but it's hard without Politis. But it's not as good, right? Because if they're drafting only single target units, like you just end up getting out tempoed, honestly. Which is it's like if you have the tempo, obviously Genoa is quite good, but the way I was drafting Genoa, maybe not so great. Unfortunately. God damn it, what am I doing? Anyways. Let's play on here. Kairon, just Anticlave, Bihu, Ungeared, Nakwal. I should have picked Nakwal on 3, round 1. Like if I went first pick Laya, beat down Nakwal, I'm pretty sure I win there. Like I don't think Haste Albedo is very strong. I just couldn't think properly at the time again. Oh, yeah. So immunity. The reason I'm so slow is because I'm forcing immunity, and my immunity gear's slow. Essentially here, but and also her other gear is quite slow. Like, yeah, maybe not the best Knockball you've ever seen, but she's slower than my Laya, which is good sometimes, but bad. It's worse now because people are picking Infinite Horizon Acades, but I think on, specifically in the World Cup mode though, tournament, it would have been good because, if I were taking Bidon, they would feel forced to pick a Taiwan, right? And the cheese is, I Laya S1 in the A Taiwan and proc his passive, and then Nako can land the binds. Very consistent strategy. Okay, it's not really that consistent, but I think it's okay sometimes. And it also, if like somebody has DDR on Soul Consolation, and then like he pushes up with like Holy S3 or Honk S3 buttons, you know, Laya can cleanse the knuckle and then you still get a press. Obviously, you could also just pass your turn, I guess, but passing your turn is for bitches. Seria ungeared. It's ungeared. Araminta's actually pretty good. I gave my Cesaria's gear to Araminta for reference. I don't think I was ever going to get him a situation versus Axe God because he was pre-banning DDR, so it's mostly into DDR drafts and they don't draft cleanse that he's quite good. And since I was picked, would have been okay. We're going too theoretical here. I think she's good though. I'll just click through the pieces here. Yeah, nothing too special on her or anything though. Quite squishy, honestly. Dying to Elbrus Ritual Sword, but everything's dying to Elbrus Ritual Sword, including me. PvE something. Politis, I don't use her. I have like literally 30% win rate with Politis. Degen Poly may be relevant, but probably not. This is a very outdated build. Roy is pickable if you have Politis. I didn't have Politis. Damn, maybe I'm on one trick. I think a Kate. I unironically picked a Katie's in the prelims. I don't think she's awful, honestly, but very hard to pick. Blue Shoe's Blue Shoe. If they pick too many fire units, slam her and they'll probably ban her, but if she gets 3, you kind of need her geared, essentially. Lidi, very high health is needed on her. If you miss kill, she's the worst unit in the game. If she kills, she's probably dead to Elbrus before the Kraken comes down, realistically. But, you know, you need her high health. Otherwise, she's just bad. So why isn't she health self-imprint? Fuck you, Smilegate. Karina, definitely a lot less pickable with the addition of Haste and Senya in the game. Pretty average build, I think. Yep. Chocolate, that's just gear holding. Taiwan is actually not awful into Sebez, but also not good at the same time. Like, I think situationally Taiwan's better into Spez drafts than Dragon King Sharoon, I will say. Because what Dragon King Sharoon can have happen to her is they stun you, but you're all the way back at like 1% CR because you took the turn before them, and then you don't cut, and you die anyways. But Taiwan doesn't have that problem. However, he only protects 1 unit. They could buff Taiwan. Okay, no, if they buff Taiwan to protect more than 1 unit, that would just be Sharoon power creep, huh? But he himself can't be stunned, and he also death breaks and death buffs, which is really strong. Like AoE 2-turn death break with defense buff for your team. Isn't that kind of insane? Or am I tripping? Maybe I'm tripping. CR push EE and just bulky. I don't know, it's pretty leftover gear. I was gonna pick him. Maybe I would pick him if I got moved on, but I didn't. Oh, I don't know what this. Wait, this is. Don't look at how many reforged pieces. Like Elvira doesn't need reforged gear or lots of ER. Don't worry about it. Obviously. Okay, wait. This is new edition. Don't look at this. This had a neck equipped. Let me just find a random pen neck. It was probably. Wait, it was this neck. I found Spez is. Wait, says is not awful. Into Edward specifically, because you gab and you kill the Edward. That's all there is to the strategy. I mean, it does a lot of damage to their team though, and he. I mean, don't worry about it. Okay, he maybe would have gotten picked, but probably not. He had gear though. Lua, Lua wasn't on my top speed during the World Cup. She's like 290 something, probably. She's top speed now because I was trying to fight Luna with her, but I've given up and I'm pre-banning Luna now. My top speed is quite slow, as you can tell. It's not so great for being fast, but I wasn't ever in a situation where being fast was relevant, so I guess you don't even get to cope with getting outsped, speed gapped. You're just brain gapped. Unlucky. Yeah, my speed gear is pretty bad though. Not even 310. Damn. Yeah, my top speed was on Conk because I was under the assumption my Politis would get pre-banned, and I might be in a situation where I need to, like Conk being fast would be relevant, essentially. Against Axe God though, he is 310 Lua, so I don't think I would have ever actually been in that scenario, would I? Arya is just an Arya here. She's kind of high health, but not really, because I took her high health sword off for somebody else. And it just kind of works into Genoa, but now Senya exists, so probably not sometimes. But if it does work, it works. So, you know, if you have Arius, you probably survive Genoa S3 essentially with this health. That's what I was going for at least. But base speed's maybe not so good, but maybe it's also good. Who knows? Ida, I was never intending to pick her, but she does have gear equipped. Fairy Tail, it's never yet. I don't know. Normal build. My F's probably kind of on the low end. I'm out of F boots. She's also kind of slow, but I don't think it matters. Fumir, I could have Fumired game 1, no cap. That draft is so Fumirable. Albedo Hayes. That is the most Fumirable, submissive and Fumirable thing I've ever seen in my life. Anyways. High effectiveness is all you're looking for on her. Tagging stuff that people that try to ER check you. But I think, honestly, I've seen some 300 ER Elenas, which is quite scary. Then they put up resist buff on themselves, and then you're not tagging that. And then they just S1 cleanse their team afterwards. I think it's a pretty good strategy there, honestly. Speaking of which, mine's kind of close. But I think you want to be faster than this. But my gear's kind of slow, so what can you do? But yeah, high ER is really good sometimes, because like she gives herself ER buff, right? So if you're trying to resist with something, maybe the unit that gives herself even more ER is quite good to resist with. I don't know. Don't think I ever really pick her though, and I don't think she's like wired in my brain as a unit that's pickable. Arunka, I don't think I was gonna actually pick Arunka, but because like that involves assuming your opponent is on protection set, and then assuming you kill, and then my Tachi's plus 15, so I don't think I'm killing. The Laya that lost 2 games, I'm pretty cracked. I have double right side craft event on her. This one's modded, but like I'm only missing like 20 HP if this were max rolled. But I don't have another mod gen, so we're not max rolling it. Oh man, dude, I'm ruining Laya's win rate in the World Cup. Oh well, that's my bad. I just didn't have IQ, I guess. Reaver was actually geared, but I don't think I was ever gonna pick him. But it's just a normal tooth build. Albedo on 3F. My 3F's obviously not maxed. I don't really pick Albedo either, so her gear's not good. Like, you want to be like 30k, less defense, I guess. 100F still, around this speed still. But yeah, if I were in a scenario where Albedo was pickable, I would have picked her. But I wasn't ever in a scenario where Albedo was pickable, so I didn't pick her. Okay, yeah, this gear hasn't changed on... Nobody else wants this gear. Christie... Would I have ever ER cheesed? Probably not, right? But I like Christie at this speed because it's... If you go back to my Genoa here real quick, she's faster than him, so you can put up attack buff on the Genoa, and then immediately attack buff S3. Oh wait, shit. Wait, we gotta scroll. Like attack buff S3, quite good. Perlucia is really good, because barrier immunity on your backline is pretty good versus a lot of Soulburn openers outside of Knockwall, and I guess Luna now. But yeah, I don't know. Probably wasn't gonna ER cheese anybody, but if the opportunity allowed itself for me to Christie on 3, like the normal thing is Poli, Genoa, and then like Christie Gala. Whoa, let's not click that. It's kind of an okay draft because they can't ban out the Christie, so it's very hard for them to like control you. But like you just lose to 3F and stuff. So and haste Soulburn S1. So maybe not the greatest of drafts, but it's not awful either. Blittica, I don't think I was gonna Blittica cleave anybody, but she's geared. Celine. I kind of wish I got to pick this. My Celine's kind of cracked, isn't she? Like 4.6, 334. That's on attack neck. But mind kills is the angle we're going for here. We're on S3 damage EE. And just high D score pieces. I need a mod flat attack here, but I don't have a flat attack mod. So I'm not modding flat attack here, I guess. No bulk. All damage. Let's fucking go. Okay, no, yeah, I think this is a very good build for her. Speed set's okay too, but it's hard to reach this damage on speed set, I think. Unless you're like attack boots, but then you're attack boots. But I guess I'm attack Nick. But going attack Nick's not as bad as going attack boots. Like, I think. Yeah, it's not as bad. Also because I'm Destro, like, it'd be very hard to reach this amount of damage on crit damage neck, I think. At this speed, at least. Maybe. Maybe I'm just coping with my attack deck. Anyways, Sid, I was never gonna pick him. Gala, maybe I would have picked her. Probably not, but maybe. No, I would have probably picked her. I like this Gala build because I can't build a fast Gala, essentially. But what this allows you to do with this artifact is you get an extra health bar. Like, if you watch my Guild War videos, I use this Gala quite often. And it's pretty successful, especially into Genoa. Like, you're not winning 1v1s against any unit, even if they're on counter, if you have this artifact, is kind of the idea behind it. And it also gives you a lot of EHP. Like, it just gives you a lot more potential health compared to Wind Rider. But Wind Rider is still really good a lot of the time. And if you are fast Gala, you need Wind Rider on her. But we are not fast Gala, so we have this artifact. ER... I wish I had a bit more ER, because for some unknown reason, when Haste gets his buff, he gets plus 30 effectiveness. Like, what? Why does he get plus 30 effectiveness? So yeah, having like 130 ER is pretty good, just if you're versus a Haste that doesn't have effectiveness, but I see some Haste have effectiveness, but yeah, what can you do if they have effectiveness Haste? But yeah, resisting Haste S3 is really good. It's pretty funny when some Haste just send S3 into your Gala turn 1 without the buff, and then they just don't strip. And then you get emoted. Violet, maybe if somebody picked 5 water units, I would have considered picking him. Syria, that's just Guild War. The Landy that doesn't do enough damage. Okay, I looked back on the recording of that match, and he did like 4.5k damage to the Haste on her S3. It's a bit sad. For reference, though, this Landy is like 460 gear score. Obviously, gear score in bulk isn't really relevant, but having a high-ish health versus Urban Shadow Shoe is actually not bad. If we want to cope a little bit, because you don't want to die to bzz. Like, if you're 10k health Landy, you're dying to 5 Shoe S1s, which, I mean, you know, maybe the Shoe's dead before then if you're 10k health Landy, to be honest. But yeah, all of your pieces are pretty cracked, but at the same time, just because the pieces are cracked doesn't mean the build is cracked. Yeah, it's all it's like just the high rolled event gear. Like, this is a craft event. This is my first ever craft event piece. Kind of cracked. Anyways, Dollmaker Peril Horizon, I would have unironically picked her at some point. Potentially. If I was allowed to. But I don't think it would have ever happened. But essentially, I draft her as just another control unit as a part of Fumio draft, but she's very inconsistent, so it would have been like if my opponent drafted really bad. Like if my opponent were drafting on the same level as me, maybe I would have picked her. But she has 80% sleep chance, which is kind of bad. But she also has slow as a part of the skill tree. Like, sleeping and slowing is really good. And then she has a 20% chance to 2-turn sleep, which is kind of cracked. Like, isn't this like not bad? I don't think it's that bad. And then she like can S2 into immediately S3 if she lands. Well, maybe not immediately S3. But if she lands enough sleep, she gets like 60 CR, 70 CR up to, and then can S3. And if they are asleep, she does a lot of damage, but generally you don't S3 a sleeping target, you S3 somebody that's not sleeping. Just for reference on her gameplay strategy. Sorry, 1 second here. Anyway, so what was I saying? Dollmaker Peril Horizon, underrated unit, but probably not tournament viable. Estina? I haven't had her geared for a while, but I had some gear laying around. Yes, this is my laying around gear. And I think immunity's pretty good on her, but I don't know. She's like 300 ER with her buff up, plus this 310. It's like, you know, 308, which is enough to resist most things. And then things that she can't resist, maybe they don't have a strip. Okay, probably not. I'm eventually getting tagged by Monk S3 as well. Damn, that's kind of depressing. But before then, you know, I'd probably resist. And I think Destina, you'd probably be drafting her with Carmen as well, so maybe not so bad, but Destina is very hard to pick right now because Celine exists. Yep, that's all there is to it. Olbia, I picked her, she got banned. Great build, I guess. She was a bit slower before actually, but I sped her up. I think I swapped this piece on her. So that she'd actually cut, because I imagined I'd need to pick her into Conk at some point, so having her geared is good. Dude, every Soul Weaver needs Ice Crystal. Like, this is cope on this, you know, but it's not awful either. But this Ice Crystal definitely needed on OBL at least. Especially because she cycles so much herself. Into the Conk Candy, like, I literally built her because I knew I might need to pick her into Conk Candy. I just kind of fumbled the last pick and the first 3 picks. But outside of that, no, OBL was good and ready to go for the Conk Candy pickers. Yeah, I don't know. She's okay. Rowana, triple health set. Shireen, she might have been geared, but she's not now. I don't think I'm ever actually gonna pick her. I'm not gonna get inventive. Conk, I ran her on Warhorn, just like she is now. Is this 5 pieces of speed set? I can probably make her faster. Anyways, she was on Warhorn because when I play her aggro, I'm drafting her with things like Gala and Hua, and increasing their damage potential is actually really good. It's just, you know, maybe not. This is definitely a piggy artifact. Like, Sweet Miracle and Proof of Valor are both much better utility, and Music Box is, you know, a lot of good positive RNG for your team. But, you know, I like Warhorn, okay? This is good for aggroing. Lionheart probably was never going to pick her. I did see Samu go Elvira Lionheart, and I thought that was quite good actually in the Europe drafts. Into the I Want to End Legend draft. That was a pretty smart draft. Although KHM didn't pick Green Celine. Unfortunate. LQC? I don't think I'd ever actually pick this LQC, honestly. There's some tanky ass dark units out there, man. And you miss kill? It's like you got a 12k health unit on your team now? Like, that's doing nothing? Yeah. I don't know. It's high damage though. Like, if you're drafting with Conk, maybe it's okay, but if you're not drafting with Conk, not really playable. Probably. I mean, if they got no Mitt, obviously this will kill. But if they got Mitt, and it's not into an Urban Shadow Shoe, you're probably not killing. Even then, you're probably not killing if they're going behind Carmen. Damn, that's depressing. Taiwan, I'm on Galabait. I don't think it's actually that great of a build, but it's very bulky, and it survives most Soulburn Celine S3s, as long as the S2 didn't go into him, which is kind of what I'm going for, and it's why he's on Adamant as well. It helps with the Galabait, and it helps with Celine, because the thing is, I'm drafting Holy, a Taiwan, Genoa a lot, right? And what happens is they pick Green Celine inevitably. And Green Celine is going to S3 into something else, and if you're on Arius, you get no damage reduction because she ignores damage sharing. But if you're on Adamant, you still get damage reduction. So I think Adamant's actually quite good on him. But if you're doing like the DDR Albedo drafts, obviously you want Arius and high health, but we're not. So I just stuck Arius on a Countervaliant, and it's actually not awful for anti-cleave because they end up hitting her, and then she hits back. Yeah, high health, obviously, because she has an Arius. She was speed boots initially, but because I swapped Arius, he swapped the health boots to, you know, add to that value. But yeah. Carmen, protection set, Arius, tanky, immunity. That's all there is to it. Okay, here's the funny part. Like I know the Carmen Senya draft is pretty bad, right? They're both on fucking protection set. Like I wasn't even. I'm so troll, man. Like, I was drafting double protection set for fun. Like, if it were speed Senya, like, if I were 250 speed 3F Senya, I don't think it's that awful. But I'm 190 speed, holy sack Senya. Damn. That's depressing. I actually drafted like that. LRK is not a real unit. It doesn't even have Arius equipped. Candy? I might have played Candy at some point. I don't have, like, my brain's not wired to pick Candy, though, honestly. Like, playing for Elbrus just never clicked with me. I don't think it's necessarily a bad strat at all. It's just, like, not a good strat for me, I think. My damage is okay, my bulk is okay. I have the plus 30 Elbrus. She's pickable. That's all she was going for there. Airwall. I like Adamant. Felucia is okay too still, but when I pick a knight, I honestly want double mitigation out of them. It's kind of all there is to it. Aiden, just high damage. I took some of her pieces to give to Celine, so her damage got nerfed a bit. But we're trying to one-tap Urban Shadow Shoes, we're timed to one-tap Abyssal Youfiends, we're trying to maybe one-tap DDR somehow if we're not asleep. That type of stuff. And cycling seasons is kind of what we're going for there. Shepherd, the Charon artifact isn't bad either. But I think that the artifact's a lot better for lifesteal. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I go back to lifesteal Aiden. But I feel like that type of Aiden build isn't really that good right now. Spirit Iceland. Okay. I don't think I would have actually ever played this. But the solo DPS Celine, why do I have 5 pieces of lifesteal on? Okay, I don't think I would have played this Celine. She has 5 pieces of lifesteal gear, apparently. How did this? Oh, it's because I took her helmet for green Celine, and it was pen set. Understood. Okay, I wouldn't have drafted this. But also, if I did, it would have been 5 pieces of lifesteal gear. That's pretty funny. T-Serin probably wouldn't have picked her, but basket, lifesteal, damage. An okay anti-cleave option. Into like this is niche of the niche, but she's not bad. But at the same time, if you have a buff, and you S3, and then haste counters you, you die. Isn't that depressing? Or Senya with 3F S1s you, you die. Yeah, not very good. Flitka, she's like pickable speed, but I'm not racing monks, I'm not racing anything with this. If they're just drafting relatively slow, I'm fast enough to outspeed most DDRs and some Lias. And that's kind of all you're looking for on Flitka, if you're not like 300 speed. Watch her geared enough, I guess. Speed imprint. I was racing people with Lua for a little bit on ladder, and I kind of had to quit gear on him. Spearsmith AOL kind of squishy, but I like 100 ER. It's definitely not because I don't have pure F gear for her. And she's definitely not a Spearsmith because I ran out of books. Yeah. Architect Leica's pretty good. I like her at this speed because it's slower than my Laya. So if somebody tries to control her, your Laya just cleanses her. Yep. I wasn't gonna pick Broman. The odds for Broman to land debuffs are so bad. 75% is like so bad if you include the odds of 15% happening. It's like 60 something % chance for your debuffs to land. Like, bruh, that's not good odds. He was on Abyssal, I think, but I think it got yoinked by somebody. I don't actually know. He's pretty bad though, but he's good at the same time. Don't ask why does he have 2.4k defense? What the fuck? I don't know. Sage Ball High Air Fast. Bastion of Hope. I don't know. Did somebody pick Zeo? Maybe I resist. Probably not. Sully is just a robbery unit, I guess. Maybe I should have picked Sully. Damn. SSB. I'll give her real gear when she gets buffed, but I've just equipped random lifesteal gear on her in case there's a 0.01% chance of somebody drafting in a way where SSV is decent. Spoiler alert, that was never going to happen. But at the same time, nobody had the lifesteal gear equipped anyway, so it doesn't really matter, does it? DJB? I don't think he's bad, actually. So he has okay gear right now. Isn't this the best DJB ring you've ever seen? Flat health is actually better than HP % min, like barely on him. Just FYI. He's pretty tanky. Decent ER still, like he's over 200, which is realistically not enough for most people that are trying to debuff DJB. But if they're only like 100 something F, I'm probably resisting, which is good enough. But I also don't pick him that much, so I don't really have a good idea of when to pick him, but he's geared. Sharoon, I ran out of Ice Crystals, so she's on Rekos. I like her at 250 speed though because it lets you, like, a fast Sharoon, you just gain so much tempo over them. Yeah, I mean AoE Death Break, 2 tunes is pretty good into Knights and Soul Weavers, obviously. Yeah, don't really pick her that often though, because like a lot of people pick Green Celine and then into like my type of drafts. So I'm dying to Celine S3. But otherwise I'm kind of bulky, honestly, for this speed. Infinite Horizon Katie's is actually pretty good right now. I put my Justina's old gear on her, like the fast gear. She's still got 200 something ER, but I'm not resisting like Knuckle S3 or anything, but like other stuff, you know, average Conk, average Politis. Lets you recover from getting tagged by stuff, right? Like, because even if your Arcadius gets debuffed, right? She cycles out of the debuffs pretty fast. So it's not the end of the world if you're lowish ER Copium. But yeah, this bulk's nice. ER's nice, the speed's nice. I think you want it around this speed. Just because you'll cut most people's like stuff if they're tuned. You'll cut them in between their opener, and then you can push something up in between. But if you require more than one turn to be taken, you're kind of fucked. So having this speed is pretty good is all we're getting at here. B-Dom, leftover speed gear, Doctor's Bag, not really much to say. Immunity, of course. Ruel, maybe would have gotten picked, probably not. But she's geared. I don't know. I don't think Ruel's that great. Especially not on this build. This build is dying to haste S3. Wow, what a fun unit. Counter ER APOG, this is just niche anti-cleave. She has ER self-imprint. That's the only reason why I went ER on her. On Strock. I don't know. I don't think it's actually that good of a strat, especially because on kind of paper, but against like Blittica and like Zeo. Okay, nobody does Zeo Blittica anymore because they added Roman to the game. But against that, it was okay. Let's see. I should have picked Dark Corvus instead of Fire Ravi. I already mentioned it when I looked at Fire Ravi. But I'm pretty sure Dark Corvus wins there. I guess you can get Death Broken by Albedo. But I had Laya Cleanse, so I could have held that to cleanse it probably. And I could have also put him in the back of Senya, and then it would be kind of bulky. And it also might have made my opponent consider banning Dark Corvus over Lulucara. Picking Fire Ravi made the ban so easy for him. I think I could have also banned the Candy that game, but and left Hwayoung in. But I don't know, man. Let's not think about it too much. Dilibet probably wasn't ever gonna pick her, but she's kind of hard when they have Senya or Haste on their team. And generally speaking, your opponent is drafting Senya or Haste every game. Damn, that's wild. Quasi. He's kind of pickable if you're going Conk, because like he can one tap something. But Hwayoung is generally better than him in that slot. But if they have like, if they go Ocean Breeze into you, you Conk. He's resilient against her essentially. LCB, I think LCB would have been better than Fire Ravi as well. I think I really just shouldn't have picked Fire Ravi. What the fuck was Fire Ravi gonna do for me? Nothing. If I put Laya in the back as well, it would have been better off for me, but what can you do? Anyways. LCB is on Sigrid's, Bulky, Destro. There's better LCBs, like mine's kind of low damage. Yeah, what can you do? I don't know. Well, I died to a Tomoka S3 one time, so I made him very bulky. Yep. And guy, my Warhorn's on Conk. So he's on Labyrinth Cube. And kind of leftover-ish. Speed pen gear. I should give him higher gear score, honestly, but this gets the job done, and by the job done, I mean I do not pick him. Yep. Doesn't he have a skin? I don't think I remember. Alright, this is the skin. I don't like the skin. Isn't his base... Isn't the default better? Sorry, I'm getting distracted here. But isn't the default better? don't know. Anyway, sorry. I kind of got too into clicking back and forth there. Strays, not on Tachi because it's on LQC for some reason, but I wasn't going to pick either of them anyway, so I guess it doesn't really matter at the end of the day, does it? He does damage. He presses S3. I think having bruiser stats on Strays isn't the worst, though. I will say. But that's all. Shoot. I spent my bottles getting this up a little bit more. It was plus 18 before Epic 7 World Cup Day, and I was like, damn. In the preliminaries, I was actually picking Shu quite a bit. So I ended up pre-banning her the second game, even though she wasn't really the reason I lost. It was Blood Moon Haste. If I been Blood Moon Haste, the draft would have been completely different. I don't know, man. I was thinking straight, man. What can you do? Yeah, mine's pretty fast. I'm not the biggest fan of this build, though. I wish I had more EHP. But at the same time, I don't really want to sacrifice speed, even though that'd be what I should do. Like 20 speed slower, and then the equivalent in all their stats, essentially, would probably be the way to go. But yeah, her gear score is very high. But yeah, like what happens that makes Shu strong though, is a lot of the things that stop Shu from being good get banned out in the later rounds. Essentially, right? So, like, more openers that get banned, less she can get aggroed down on, and then you have Blood Moon Haste and Senya as high priority picks. So then Shu also becomes a high priority pick because she counters them. But you know, as you can see, Green Landy obviously counters her. Okay, I would have won that first round though if my Guiding Light fucking procced. I also misplayed a lot, but if my Guiding Light procced, you know, I would have won. And then I would have probably gotten less tilted for the next round, whatever. Anyways, Trozet. Bastion of Felucia. I don't think I was going to pick him, but he was geared if I was ever in a solo DPS carry. Like, if I drafted Celine and Trozet, you know, Trozet's a part of the Celine draft, kind of. Senya's a bit better, though. Now, like, once Senya came out, Trozet kind of got outclassed. BBK, just niche anti-cleave on her own artifact. Rylet is Rylet. He's pretty high gear score, but again, he's not really pickable. Buffed Rylet a lot more pickable, because if he's not evasion buff, he now gets evasion chance on his S2. It's really good. Can't get unbuffable, can't get stripped. God is coming back, maybe. Briar, okay into haste. They just draft Cleanse, probably, though, if you pick her too early. He's getting an EE. You can only get one EE every, like, 2 weeks. XDD. And then it's gonna roll 6 speed out of 10 speed. That's just great, isn't it? In a match that wasn't streamed, I won with Pirate Flan. So that's nice. Yep. If I were drafting properly versus Axe God, I would have probably gotten in a situation where Pirate Flan was good. Like, if I want to beat on Knuckle, the next 2 picks are generally Fumir Pirate Flan. And yeah. But, you know, what can you do? Just to play control, essentially, though. But yeah, what can you do? I am brain damaged. Polydus, I really like this artifact on her. Especially if you're drafting her with Genoa. If you're not drafting her with Genoa, though, I'm pretty sure the Stealth artifact is better, and the Death Break artifact is also better. Like, if you're drafting with Candy, Stealthing Candy is pretty strong. Getting a Death Break duel with Candy is pretty strong. But a lot of people really want to punish you pressing her S3s, so the tempo of the games that I play with her doesn't really allow you to get too much value from the Death Break or the Stealth. Like, most people aren't going to let you play in a way where the Stealth is relevant, essentially. But the Death Break one is often relevant, but 10 Souls is also pretty relevant. And also it cycles her around so she laps, which is more relevant than it would, than you'd think, honestly. Irons? Okay, Irons isn't that bad, man. Copium. But is he that bad? I don't think he's that bad. Somebody wants to end Legend, you can pick Irons in them. You know. Laya, Carmen, Eufine. It's not bad, honestly. I'd recommend Morana. I actually pick Requiem Morana a lot right now, because I don't like people pressing their cooldowns. Only I get to press cooldowns fool. 300 F's good until your opponent is French and they 15% you. Stenny, my damage is really low, but I'm on Unity, so that's okay, I guess. I'll just dual attack to make up for it, right? Right. I don't know. Looks okay. The speed's low. I don't really pick her, but she's geared in case I'm in a situation where I do want to pick her. If she were like 10 speed faster, I guess she'd be a lot better. Wow, 20 more gear score, she'd be better? Crazy. Yeah, she's not on my best Destro gear. I think I could actually put her back on Destro Crit Chance neck, maybe. I might consider doing it. I don't think she's too awful, but at the same time, she's not great. I don't know. I'm betting... Oh wait, the thing is, okay, I was picking her into Emma Luna, but I completely forgot that when Stenny gets sealed, you can fucking hit her. Like, what? I wasn't used to the interaction because, like, what could seal Stenny before? Literally nothing. There's no AoE seal before. If you S3 A Meru and she resists and counter you, is the only way you would have figured that out, I guess. Oh, and also because the stealth is written here that it's a part of her passive. But anyway, wait. Anyways. I was picking into ML Luna though because I forgot that she just gets sealed and you can target the Stenny. But that doesn't actually work. Anyways, Tomaka. Pretty good if you're aggroing and your opponent doesn't have Mitt. If your opponent has Mitt, you're not killing. But outside of that, you know, it's not bad. You hold Book, you Soul Burn S3, you do a lot of damage, you give your team attack buff, you push your team up. Very powerful unit. But obviously weak to things that are faster than her, things that can tank her. Long drawn out fights. If you're on Spirit's Breath though, you can have 100% stealth uptime on her, which is kind of funny. Yeah. Zio, he's fast. He has effectiveness. If you ever pick Zio on 3, I'm pretty sure effectiveness Zio is a lot better than Wizard Zio because you're often trying to ER check something. And also a lot of people run ER on their Conquerors if they're picking her early. So having like 200-ish F on him is pretty good. Book, obviously, because Book is the most broken artifact in the game. Oh, this is my haste. I didn't get a chance to pick him. Wait, I did in my first match, but not in the second because my opponent was picking him. He's quite broken. Especially if you dropped him with Mitt, apparently. Because then he has even more EHP. Wow. But yeah. Celestine counter, heal the full. You know how it goes. ERDDR on Ice Crystal. It's not the soul build, but I think having some ER on your DDR is not awful. And the Ice Crystal is just a broken Soul Weaver artifact. Like, I was on Soul for a long time, but then I ran Ice Crystal and was like, damn, this artifact kind of broken. So now he's on Ice Crystal for the rest of his life. Yep. Katie's, I don't know, man. I wasn't gonna pick this. G. Okay, I wasn't gonna pick this either. She's kind of gear holding, isn't she? Are we out of units to look at? I think we're out of units to look at. Hopefully I wasn't talking too long. This is like a very long video though, because I like rambling. I don't think I missed anything because I was going through the list linearly. But I also only picked like 3 units anyways, so this is kind of unnecessary, isn't it? If we're looking at it in the context of the World Cup. Okay, this suddenly the Spirit I think is actually really funny. Okay, that's actually really funny. I'm glad I didn't do a draft with her then. Yeah, I think that's it for me. Let me know if you want to see a draft review, I guess, of specifically the matches. And I don't know if I was actually allowed to record my match with Mossman, but I recorded it. So if you want to see me upload that, let me know as well. Maybe I'll just do it anyways if you don't want it from me. Do I have anything else to say? Not really. That's it for me, I suppose. Thank you for watching. Let me click. Wait, do I have anything else to say while I click through the top of the list? Just really quickly here. Not really. I'll subscribe if you enjoyed. Alright, that's the thing. Oh yeah, did I click on Janua's pieces? Okay, we'll click on Janua's pieces because he's kind of cracked. 105, 101, 103, 101, 91, 93. Okay. I think I'm done. Wait, I'm almost at the top. We're climbing. Boom, back where we started. Okay, an hour-long account review. I talk. Yes. Bye.